A few years ago, I went to a business analyst interview thinking I was ready. But when they started asking SQL questions, I completely froze. I didn't know the basics, and I could see the interviewer's frustration. It was embarrassing and I didn't get the job. That's why I have put together this video covering all the SQL basics you need to know, so you will never have to face that kind of embarrassment or lose a great opportunity. With these top 30 SQL interview questions and answers, you will be fully prepared and confident for your next interview. In this video, we will walk through the essential SQL concepts interviewers love to ask about. Here is a quick peek on what is inside. Step-by-step guidance. We simplify each concept so you understand how it works and why it is useful. Real-world examples. Using a restaurant reservation system, we make SQL concepts easy to remember and practical. Organized chapters. Covering everything from core basics to database setup and data commands, you will find exactly what you need. By the end, you will have a solid understanding of SQL fundamentals to ace your interview. Let's dive in and build your SQL confidence. For this video, we are using Vegan Gardens, a vegan restaurant, as our case study to show real SQL examples. Vegan Gardens manages its operations with three main tables. Number 1, Customers table. This holds customer information like names, phone numbers, emails, and delivery addresses. Number 2, Reservation table. Tracks table booking with details like reservation date, time, and table size. Number 3, Customer orders table. This stores home delivery orders including order date, total amount, and payment type like cash, card, or QR. We will use these tables to demonstrate SQL commands for creating, updating, retrieving, and securing data. This will give you practical examples of how SQL can help manage a restaurant's data effectively. Let's jump into the examples. Let's get started with Chapter 1, Core SQL Concepts. This chapter is all about building a solid foundation with 10 key questions that focus on SQL theory and core concepts that interviewers love to ask. Question number 1. What is SQL and why is it used? SQL, or Structured Query Language, is a powerful tool used to manage and manipulate data in relational databases. It helps retrieve, update, insert, and delete data efficiently. For Vegan Gardens, SQL enables management of reservations, customer details, and table availability. For example, if the restaurant manager wants to view all reservations for today, a simple query like the one on the screen can be run on the backend. This instantly displays all reservations for the current date, saving time and avoiding manual sorting. Question number 2. What is a database? A database is an organized collection of structured data stored electronically. It allows us to store, manage, and retrieve large amounts of information efficiently. In the case of Vegan Gardens, a database is used to manage everything related to reservations and customer data. Think of it as a digital filing cabinet. Instead of keeping paper records of customer bookings, this data is stored in the database, making it easy to access and update details like customer names, reservation times, and table numbers. Question number 3. What are the different types of databases? There are different types of databases, each suited to specific kinds of data storage. Number 1. Relational databases or RDBMS. These store data in structured tables with rows and columns, where each table has a unique ID, like customer ID or reservation ID. SQL is used to manage and retrieve data. This type of database is ideal for vegan gardens because it lets us link customer and reservation data, ensuring everything is organized and connected. For example, the customers table holds customer details while the reservations table track bookings. These tables are linked by customer ID, so we can easily find which customer made a reservation. Number 2. NoSQL databases. NoSQL databases handle unstructured or flexible data like social media posts or logs. While they are great for large-scale diverse data, they are not as structured as relational databases, so they wouldn't be ideal for vegan garden reservation system, which relies on clear relationships between data. However, if vegan gardens ever needed to store customer reviews or less structured data, NoSQL could be useful. Number 3. Hierarchical databases. These organize data in a strict parent-child structure like a tree. They are less common today and wouldn't fit well with the kind of flexible data we need for vegan gardens. Question number 4. What is a table in database? A table in a database organizes data into rows and columns, much like a spreadsheet. Each table represents a specific entity like customers or reservations, and each row holds a record, while each column stores a specific type of data. For example, for vegan gardens, the reservations table would include columns like the ones shown on the screen. Reservation ID, unique ID for each booking. Customer ID, this links to the customer who made the reservation. Reservation time, this shows the date and time of booking. Table number, this is the assigned table for the customer. In summary, table helps organize data efficiently, allowing us to link related data like customers and reservations, making it easy to manage the vegan gardens reservation system. Question number 5. What is the difference between a table and a view? A table and a view both help organize data in the database, but they serve different purposes. Table stores actual data in rows and columns. For vegan gardens, the reservations table holds all the reservation records like the ones shown on the screen. The table directly stores the actual reservation data. View, it is a virtual table that displays data from one or more tables but doesn't store the data itself. For example, if the restaurant manager only wants to see today's reservations, we can create a view called Reservations for Today. Now the view shows only today's reservations without changing the data in the table like the ones on the screen. The key difference is that a table holds the real data while a view is a saved query that displays data without storing it. Question number 6. What is a primary key? A primary key is a unique identifier for each record in a table. It ensures that no two rows have the same value for the primary key, making each record easy to identify and manage. In the reservation table at vegan gardens, the primary key is the reservation ID. This field is unique for each booking as shown in the slide. The reservation ID values 101, 102 make sure each reservation is unique. This helps us avoid confusion or duplication. If someone tries to add another reservation with the reservation ID 101, the database will reject it because the primary key must be unique. When we need to find a specific reservation, the primary key makes it easy to retrieve the exact reservation. Question number 7. What is a composite key? A composite key is a primary key made up of two or more columns. It is used when one column alone isn't enough to make each record unique. For vegan gardens, let us say we want to ensure that no customer can book the same time slot twice. Instead of just using reservation ID, we can use a combination of customer ID and reservation time as a composite key. This way, each customer can only book a specific time once. For example, refer to the table data shown on the screen. Here, the combination of customer ID and reservation time makes sure that no customer can book the same time slot twice. Even if customer ID is the same, the time must be different for each reservation. For instance, if customer ID 001 tries to book at 19 hours on 12th October 2024 again, the database will reject it because the combination already exists. Question number 8. Compare foreign key and primary key. A primary key and a foreign key are two key concepts in databases, but they have different purposes. Number 1. Primary key. A primary key uniquely identifies each record in a table. No two records can have the same primary key value as we have seen in the previous questions. In the reservations table for vegan gardens, the primary key is the reservation ID. Each reservation gets a unique reservation ID. Number 2. Foreign key. A foreign key links one table to another. It ensures that data in one table relates to valid data in another. In the reservations table, the customer ID is a foreign key that links to the customer's table. The customer ID in the reservations table connects each reservation to a specific customer. So, reservation 101 belongs to the customer 001, that is John Doe. The foreign key ensures that all the reservations are tied to valid customers. If someone tries to add a reservation with a customer ID that doesn't exist in the customer's table, the database wouldn't allow it. Question number 9. What are the different data types used in SQL? In SQL, data types define the kind of data a column can hold. Here are the main types. Number 1. Numeric data types. Int. This stores whole numbers like 123 or a negative number like minus 456. Decimal. This stores numbers with decimals like 123.45. Second type is string character data types. Varchar n. This stores variable length text up to n characters long. For example, varchar 255. Char n. This stores fixed length text, always n characters long. Text for long text like descriptions. Date and time data types. Date. This stores a date in the format year, month and day. Time. This stores a time in the format hour, minutes and seconds. Date time. This stores both date and time. The fourth type is Boolean data type. This stores values like true or false. Fifth type, binary data types. Blob, B-L-O-B. This is for storing large binary data like images or files. For the reservation table, create table reservations in the brackets reservation ID int primary key, customer ID int, reservation time date time, table number int. Reservation ID int, it's a whole number. Reservation time date time, this stores date and time. Table number int, this is the table number. These are the basic data types used to store different kinds of information in a database. Question number 10. What are SQL command types? In SQL, commands are divided into different types depending on what they do. The main types are DDL, DML and DCL. DDL or Data Definition Language. DDL commands define and manage the structure of the database, things like tables, columns and indexes. They don't change the actual data, just how it is stored. Example commands: create. This creates new tables or other objects. Alter. This changes the structure of an existing table, for example, adding a new column. Drop. This deletes a table or other database objects. Number 2. Data Manipulation Language or DML. DML commands are used to manage the data itself, like adding, changing, deleting, or viewing records. Example commands are: insert, adds new data into a table; update, modifies the existing data; delete, removes data; select, this retrieves data from the table. Number 3. DCL or Data Control Language. DCL commands control access to the data. They determine who can view or change the data. Example commands are: grant, gives the user permission to perform certain action; revoke, this removes permission from the users. Before we move on to chapter 2, if you are finding the video useful, smash the like button to let us know. Okay, let's move on to chapter 2. Data Definition Language or DDL. Here we will explore essential SQL commands like create, alter, and drop that help structure your database. Question number 11. How do you create a database? In SQL, creating a database is the first step in setting up a system. For Vegan Gardens, we need a database to store all our tables like reservations and customer info. To create the database, we use the create database command as shown. This creates an empty database called Vegan Gardens DB. After this, we can add tables and start storing restaurant data like reservations. Question number 12. How do you delete a database if it is no longer needed? If the Vegan Gardens DB is no longer needed, we can delete it using the drop database command as shown. This command deletes the entire Vegan Gardens DB, including all its data. Be careful, this action cannot be undone. So always make sure to back up any information data before running this command. Question number 13. How do you create a table? Let's say we need a table to store customer details like their name, phone number in the Vegan Gardens database. To create this table, we use the create table command in SQL as shown. Customer ID. It's a unique ID for each customer, which is the primary key. Customer name. The customer's name. This allows up to 100 characters. Contact number. Their phone number, up to 15 characters. This table helps us store and manage customer information for things like reservations and communication. Question number 14. How do you modify a table to add a new column? Sometimes after creating a table, we need to add more information. In the customers table, if we forgot to include an email ID for customers, we can easily add it using the alter table command as shown. Alter table. This allows us to change the structure of the table. Add column. We are adding a new column called email ID. Varchar 100. This means the email can be up to 100 characters long. This way we can store customer email addresses for sending reservation confirmations or updates. Question number 15. How do you modify a table to add a new column? Sometimes we need to clean up or simply a table by removing unnecessary columns. In the Vegan Gardens system, if we decide we no longer need to store the customer's email ID, we can remove that column using the alter table command as shown. Alter table. This command is used to modify the structure of an existing table. Drop column. This removes the specified column, and in this case the email ID column. This is useful when you want to reduce the size of your table or if the information is no longer required for the system. Question number 16. How to delete a table if it is no longer needed? Sometimes we may need to completely remove a table from the database when it is no longer needed. In the Vegan Gardens database, if we decide we no longer need the customers table, we can delete it using the drop table command as shown. Drop table. This command is used to permanently remove the entire table and all the data stored in it. Be careful when using this command because once a table is dropped, all the data inside it is lost, and this action cannot be undone. This is useful when you are cleaning up unused tables or restructuring the database. Let us continue with Chapter 3, Data Control Language or DCL. Here we will cover the SQL commands like grant and revoke, which control access and permissions in the database. Question number 17. How do you grant full control over a table to a user? In SQL, we can give specific users access to certain tables. If the admin user needs full control over the customers table, then we can use the grant command as shown. All privileges. This gives the admin user permission to select, view customer information, insert, to add new customer records, update, to edit existing customer records, delete, to remove the customer records, on customers. This specifies the customers table where these permissions apply. To admin. This grants these privileges to the admin user. This allows the admin user to fully manage the customers table, handling all customer related data. Question number 18. How to grant permission for a user to only view and add records to a table. In SQL, we can control what actions different users can perform on a table. For the Vegan Gardens system, restaurant staff need to view, add and update customer information, but they should not be able to delete the customer records. To give the staff these specific permissions, we use the grant command to allow select, insert and update actions. Grant select, insert, update. This lets the staff select, like view all customer details, insert, to add new customers such as when new guests make a reservation, update, to update the customer records when the customer contact details change. On customers. Applies these permissions to the customers table. To restaurant staff. Grants these permissions to the staff. By doing this, the restaurant staff can fully manage customer records without the ability to delete any information, ensuring data security. Question number 19. How to revoke permission to insert or update records to a table. In SQL, we can manage user permissions not just by granting access, but also by revoking it when needed. For the Vegan Gardens system, if we want to restrict the restaurant staff from both adding new customers and updating existing customer records, we can revoke those specific permissions. Here's the SQL query to revoke both insert and update permissions. Revoke, insert, update. This command removes the permission for the staff to insert, that is preventing them from adding new customer records. Update prevents them from modifying existing customer records. On customers specifies that these permissions are being revoked from the customers table. From staff targets the user group staff to whom these permissions are removed. With this change, the restaurant staff can still view customer information if they have the select permission, but they won't be able to add or change any customer data, ensuring tighter control over the customer records. Before we continue to the last chapter, if you are finding the video useful, and want to be notified about similar SQL content, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you will receive new notifications. Let us continue with the last chapter, chapter number 4, Data Manipulation Language or DML. This chapter focuses on commands like insert, update and delete, which allows you to add, modify and remove data in the database. Question number 20. How do you insert a new record to a table? In SQL, we use the insert into statement to add new data into a table. For the Vegan Gardens app, when a new customer visits or makes a reservation, we need to add their details to the customer table. For example, let's say we want to add a new customer John Doe to the table. The table has columns for customer ID, customer name, phone number and email ID. We can use the SQL shown, insert into customers. This specifies the table where we are adding the data. Customer ID, customer name, phone number and email ID. These are the columns where we are adding the data to. Values 1. John Doe 12345678990 john@example.com. These are the values for each column. Customer ID equal to 1. This is the unique ID for the customer. Customer name equal to John Doe. This is the customer's name. Phone number 12345678990. This is the phone number. Email ID john@example.com. This is their email address. This query adds a new record for John Doe to the customers table. Question number 21. How do you update a record in a table? To update an existing record in SQL, we use the update statement. In Vegan Gardens app, if a customer like John Doe changes his phone number, we can update it in the customer table. For example, if John Doe's customer ID is 1 and his new phone number is 111-222-3333, the query looks like this. Update customers. Here we are updating the customers table. Set phone number equal to 111-222-3333. This sets the new phone number for John Doe. Where customer ID equal to 1. The where clause ensures that only John Doe's record is updated. Without it, every customer's phone number would be changed. Why is the where clause important? It targets the specific customer to update, and in this case, John Doe is identified by his customer ID. Without the where clause, the change would apply to all the customers. This query ensures only John Doe's phone number is updated in the system. Question number 22. How do you delete a record in a table? In SQL, we use the delete statement to remove a specific record from a table. For Vegan Gardens app, if a customer's details are no longer needed, like maybe they moved away or requested to be removed, you can delete the record from customer's table. Let's say we want to delete John Doe who has customer ID 1. The query to remove him from the customers table looks like the one shown. Delete from customers. This tells SQL to remove a record from the customers table. Where customer ID equal to 1. The where clause is very important here. It specifies that only the customer with customer ID equal to 1, that is John Doe, will be deleted. Without this, you would accidentally delete all the customers. Why is the where clause important? The where clause ensures that only the specific customer is removed. And in this case, we are using the unique customer ID to identify the correct customer. If we didn't include this, it would delete every record in the table, which could be a major mistake. This query permanently removes John Doe's information from the table. Question number 23. How do you retrieve all the records from a table? To get all the records in the customer's order table, we use the select statement with an asterisk. This retrieves every column and row in the table, showing all the data available. Select asterisk. The asterisk is a shortcut to select all columns in the table. From customer orders. This specifies the table name, so SQL knows where to pull the data from. When you run this query, you will see all the rows in the customer orders table like this. This query is useful if you want to see everything in the table without any filters or conditions. Question number 24. How do you retrieve only selective fields from a table? To fetch only specific columns such as customer name and total amount from customer orders table, we use the select statement with the column names we need. Select customer name, total amount. Instead of using asterisk to get all columns, we specify only the customer name and total amount columns. This limits the results to just these two columns. From customer orders. This tells the SQL which table to look at for the data. The result of the query would be as shown on the screen. This query is useful when you only need specific information like the customer names and how much they paid without any extra column. Question number 25. How do you retrieve all orders greater than $40? To find orders where the total amount is more than $40, we can use a where clause with the greater than operator. This will filter the result showing only orders with a total amount above $40. Select star. This selects all columns from the table so we can see full details of each order. From customer orders. Specifies that we are working with the customer's order table. Where total amount is greater than 40, the where clause filters the results to show only the records where the total amount is greater than $40. The result of the query would be as shown. This result shows only the orders with a total amount greater than $40, making it easy to identify high-value orders. Question number 26. How do you retrieve all the orders greater than $40 and paid by cash? To find orders where the total amount is greater than $40 and the payment mode is card, you can use the where clause with both the conditions combined using AND operator. This filters the results to meet both criteria. Select star. This selects all columns showing full details of each matching order. From customer orders. This specifies the table we are querying, where total amount is greater than 40. This first part of where clause filters the orders with a total amount over $40 and payment mode equal to card. This adds a second condition filtering further to only show the orders where the payment mode is card. The result of this query would be as shown. This result shows only the orders where the total amount is more than $40 and payment mode is card, helping to quickly identify specific orders based on these criteria. Question number 27. How do you find the total number of orders? To get the total count of orders in the customer orders table, you can use the count function. This function counts the number of rows that match the criteria in the query. Here is the SQL query. Select count star. The count star function counts all rows in the table. It includes every row, so it shows the total number of orders as total orders. This renames the result column to total orders for better readability. From customer orders. This specifies the customer orders table as the source of the data. The result of this query would be as shown. This query returns a single value indicating the total number of orders, which is useful for understanding overall order volume. Question number 28. How do you find the minimum order amount? To find the smallest total amount in the customer's order table, use the min function. This function returns the lowest value in the specified column. SQL query is as shown on the screen. Select min total amount. The min function calculates the minimum value in the total amount column, finding the smallest order amount. As minimum order amount. This renames the result as minimum order amount for better clarity. From customer orders. Specifies the customer orders table as the source. For example, if the customer orders table has these records, the result would be 30. This result shows the smallest order amount in the customer's order table, which can be useful for identifying the lowest spending on any single order. Question number 29. How do you find the maximum order amount? To find the highest total amount in the customer orders table, you can use the max function. This function gives you the largest value in the specified column. SQL query is as shown on the screen. Select max total amount. The max function finds the highest value in the total amount column, which gives us the largest order amount. As maximum order amount. This renames the result as maximum order amount for easy reading. From customer orders. This specifies that we are working with the customer orders table. The result of this query would be 75. This query provides the highest order amount, which helps to identify the largest single order value. Question number 30. How do you retrieve orders between two dates? To find orders placed within a specific date range, you can use the between operator in the where clause. This allows you to filter records based on a range of dates in the order date column. SQL query is as shown on the screen. Select star. This retrieves all the columns, so we get complete details for each matching order. From customer orders. This specifies that we are working with the customer orders table. Where order date between 1st October 2024 and 3rd October 2024. The between operator filters the results, returning only the orders where order date falls between October 1st, 24 and October 3rd, 24, inclusive of both the dates. The result of this query would be as shown. This query helps to quickly view all the orders within a specified date range, useful for tracking orders over specific periods. Hope you enjoyed the video. Which SQL concept and query did you find most useful? Let me know in the comments. Also, we are working on a similar video for advanced SQL concepts. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you are notified as soon as it is live.